You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Just adjust the rudder, one small turn at a time, and the miracle will unfold. Have you ever wondered why, despite trying so hard to change, you keep falling back into the same old patterns? Why every time you start with strong motivation, things quietly fade away? And in the end, you blame yourself for not being disciplined enough, not being strong-willed enough. Don't worry. You're not alone in that feeling. We've all been there. And then, a book appears, quiet but powerful. It doesn't scream slogans. It doesn't promise magic. It simply says, you don't need to transform your life overnight. You just need to improve by 1% every day. That book is called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And today, I'm going to take you on a journey behind that book, a journey that's not just about habit systems, but about discovering a compass that can reshape your life, one step at a time. But before we begin, if you're someone who's seeking deep, practical, and inspiring insights for personal growth, please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, because what comes next might just change your life. Now, let's dive into the powerful idea of an atomic habit, tiny, but strong enough to shift your entire destiny. Success doesn't come from a single breakthrough moment. It comes from thousands of small decisions repeated over time. James Clear, the author of this book, wasn't born a perfectly disciplined guru. In fact, his journey began with a devastating accident during high school. A baseball bat struck him square in the face, shattering his skull. He went into a coma, lost memory, and had to spend years relearning how to think, move, and function. With nothing left, no sharpness, no strength, James began again from zero. Tiny steps. Learning to focus for just 10 minutes. Slowly returning to light physical training. Keeping his room tidy every evening. Writing just a few lines each day. And gradually, those small actions transformed James into an honor student, a high-performing athlete, a best-selling author, and a sought-after global speaker. It didn't happen because of some grand transformation. It happened because of small habits, done consistently, day after day. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. James Clear. Imagine this. If you improved yourself by just 1% each day, it might sound laughable, so small, so insignificant. You might think, what could 1% possibly do? But let math answer that for you. If you get just 1% better every day, by the end of the year, you'll be 37 times better than when you started. This isn't fantasy. It's the power of accumulation, of compound growth, not in your bank account, but in your behaviors, your mindset, and your identity. But here's the trap, most of us chase big, dramatic change. We want to lose 10 kilos in a month, build a business overnight, or change our entire lives after one seminar or one book. And when we fail, because it's too sudden, too heavy, we blame ourselves. But James Clear reminds us. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And systems aren't built through explosions of effort. They're built through consistency, through small actions repeated quietly, every single day. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine an ice cube on a table. The room is cold, 28 degrees Fahrenheit. You slowly increase the temperature, 29, 30, 31, still nothing. Then it hits 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and the ice begins to melt. Did just that 1 degree cause the change? No. It was the silent buildup of every degree before that. That's how habits work. You may see no result for a long time. But that doesn't mean change isn't happening. The real transformation is beneath the surface, until one day, it breaks through. And now comes the heart of James Clear's philosophy. What truly makes a habit stick is not that it changes what you do, but that it changes who you believe you are. We often start with what we want to achieve. I want to lose weight. I want to be more productive. I want to quit smoking. But James challenges us to go deeper, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. Instead of saying, I want to read more books, say, I am the kind of person who never stops learning. Instead of, I want to eat healthier, say, I am the kind of person who respects and cares for my body. When your actions reflect your identity, they stick. They're no longer chores or willpower contests. They are simply expressions of who you are becoming. Every small action is a vote for the kind of person you want to be. Writing one paragraph is a vote for being a writer. Taking a 5-minute walk is a vote for being active. Putting your phone away at dinner is a vote for being present. At first, those votes seem small, powerless. But over time, they build into a pattern. A system. A whole new version of you. And then, you no longer need to force change. You simply are the change. Have you ever wondered why you keep repeating certain behaviors, whether good or bad? The answer lies in something subtle but incredibly powerful. James Clear calls it the habit loop, a silent mechanism that drives almost everything we do each day. This loop consists of 4 steps: cue, craving, response, reward. Let's imagine a simple scene. You're sitting quietly in your room. Suddenly, your phone buzzes, that's the cue. You feel curious, wondering who messaged you, that's the craving. You pick up the phone and read the message, that's your response. And if it's funny, kind, or exciting, you feel satisfied, that's the reward. Sounds simple, right? But this tiny loop is the foundation of every habit, from brushing your teeth in the morning to endlessly scrolling through social media, from smoking to going for a run. Here's the beauty. To change a habit, you don't need to wrestle with your willpower. You just need to adjust each part of the loop. James Clear presents a brilliant framework, the 4 laws of behavior change, which align perfectly with each stage of the habit loop. 1. Make it obvious, create a clear cue. Want to read more books? Put one on your pillow. On your dinner table. Somewhere visible. When the signal is clear, action becomes natural. 2. Make it attractive. The more you want it, the easier it becomes. Pair the habit with something you love. Listen to your favorite podcast only when you walk. Watch Netflix only after journaling. This is called habit stacking, a brilliant motivator. 3. Make it easy. Habits don't survive because they're hard. They survive because they're convenient. Want to eat healthier? Keep junk food out of the house. Want to work out? Lay your clothes out the night before. Most importantly, lower the bar. 2 minutes of stretching. 1 paragraph written. 1 page read. Do less, but do it consistently. 4. Make it satisfying. Your brain loves instant rewards. So give it one. Cross off a task. Smile at yourself in the mirror. Enjoy the peace after tidying up. A tiny reward makes your brain whisper, let's do this again. And what about bad habits? You reverse the same 4 rules. Make it invisible, remove the cue. Make it unattractive. Make it difficult. Make it unsatisfying. Let's say you want to stop checking your phone at night. Put it in another room. Turn on airplane mode. Place a great book by your bed. Fewer cues. Less craving. The habit fades away. Once you understand the habit loop, you stop being a victim of unconscious behavior. You become the architect of your life, designing your surroundings, your emotions, and your rewards to steer your actions gently but powerfully. Imagine this. You walk into a tidy, well-lit room. A warm wooden desk stands before you, with an open book resting gently on top and a steaming cup of tea beside it. The air is quiet, calm, inviting. Without anyone telling you, you sit down. And you read. Now imagine something else. You enter a cluttered room. The TV blares in the background. Your phone buzzes within reach. A half-eaten bag of chips sits on the table. Even if you're holding a book, the chance you'll focus is almost zero. That's the hidden power of environment. James Clear wants us to understand a crucial truth. Habits are not only shaped by willpower. They're born from the environment we live in. And the good news? You can design that environment. We often overestimate the power of self-control and underestimate how deeply our surroundings shape us. But in reality, a new environment creates new behavior. So, if you want to change yourself, don't just resist your old habits, remove the things that trigger them. Then, plant the seeds of new ones by reshaping your space. Start small. Want to eat healthier? Put a bowl of fresh fruit on the kitchen counter and hide the junk food. Want to exercise more? Lay out your yoga mat in the middle of the room and keep your running shoes by the door. Want to write every morning? Leave your journal open on your desk and silence your phone. James calls these visual cues, simple but powerful signals. Your brain reacts most strongly to what it sees. If you want a good habit to thrive, make it visible, accessible, and frictionless. A well-designed space makes a good habit feel natural, even automatic, no struggle required. Here's another gem from James. Each space should serve one purpose only. If you eat, work, scroll, and sleep all in the same corner of your room, your brain becomes confused. But if you set clear intentions, desk for deep work, bed for sleeping only, armchair for reading, kitchen table for mindful eating, then you're training your mind through space, not force. It's not about having a huge house or being perfectly organized. It's about making small corners of your life support the identity you want to build. A book basket beside the couch. A small rack for gym gear. A soft light for evening reflection. These simple tools quietly nudge you into becoming your best self. Remember, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And your system begins with your environment. You don't need iron will. You need a room that gently pushes you in the right direction. You don't need to fight yourself. You just need to rebuild the world around you, one drawer, one table, one small habit at a time. When you learn to treat your environment as an extension of your values, then behavior change is no longer a battle, it's a natural result. Do you know the biggest difference between those who succeed and those who stop halfway? It's not intelligence. It's not talent. And it's definitely not flawless discipline. It's this. The ability to return, day after day, moment after moment, even after failing, even after falling behind. James Clear calls this the power of showing up. We often get obsessed with starting perfectly. We want the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect motivation. We tell ourselves, I'll begin when I'm ready. But the truth is, success isn't born from perfect beginnings. It's born from the quiet, ordinary act of returning, again and again. You write one page a day, and then one busy evening, you don't. But if you come back tomorrow and keep writing, you're still winning. You eat healthy for 3 days, then have a cheat meal with friends. But if the next morning you choose fruit instead of giving up, you're still on the path. Missing once never destroys a habit. But telling yourself, "I've ruined everything," and quitting, does. James says it best. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new habit. We have to stop thinking in emotional outbursts and start thinking in long-term patterns. Sometimes, just showing up, even with only 60% of your energy, is worth more than waiting for that mythical, perfect day. Because repetition, that quiet consistency, is where habits become identity. At first, you run for 10 minutes to feel healthy. But after a few weeks, you're no longer someone who tries to run, you are a runner. You write a paragraph each night. One day, you stop being someone who wants to write, you become a writer. Habits don't just help you reach goals. They transform who you are. And you don't need to do more. You just need to keep the chain going, even if it's small, even if it's messy. James offers one of the simplest, most powerful rules. Never miss twice. It's okay to fall once. Just don't fall twice in a row. It's okay to slip up. Just come back stronger. That's how the muscle of consistency is built, not in perfection, but in recovery. Imagine caring for a small plant. Some days, it barely seems to grow. But you keep watering it. You give it light. You show up. And one day, you look back and see deep roots, strong branches, and leaves that whisper, "You stayed." You kept going. Everything you've done so far, setting goals, starting small, staying consistent, shaping your environment, tracking your progress, all leads to one crucial question. Who are you? And deeper still, who do you believe you are? James Clear concludes with what might be the most important insight in the entire book. Habits are not just about achieving results. Habits are about becoming someone new. We often ask the wrong questions. How do I lose 5 kilograms? How do I write a book? How do I earn 100 million? But the more powerful, transformative questions are: what kind of person do I want to become? What would that kind of person do every day? When you build habits around a new identity, the future version of yourself you aspire to be, every small action becomes a vote. Each time you work out, you're casting a vote for being a healthy person. Each time you write, you're voting to become a writer. Each time you save money, you're affirming your identity as someone disciplined and future-focused. Here's the magic: you don't have to become someone first to act like them. You become that person by acting like them, every day, every step, every habit. And you don't need to shout it out loud. You just need to show up. A person who trains regularly doesn't have to declare, "I'm an athlete." They just lace up and show up. A person who reads doesn't need to post about it, they just open the next page. Identity isn't shaped by words, but by quiet, repeated action. And one day, you'll realize something profound. You no longer need to force the habit. Because it has become you. You don't have to try to write. You are a writer. You don't have to struggle to eat healthy. You are a healthy person. You don't have to fight to save money. You are someone who values your future. The habit no longer lives outside you. It now lives within you. And that's the only place where lasting change is born. So now you've reached the end of Atomic Habits, not a loud or flashy journey, but a quiet, powerful transformation. One that unfolds with small steps, repeated choices, and environments you've carefully designed. Because each small habit, no matter how tiny, is shaping something far bigger. You are rewriting who you are, one quiet choice at a time. And if there's one final message to carry with you, let it be this. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to begin becoming your truest self, one small habit at a time. You've reached the final part of Atomic Habits. But in truth, this book was never just about habits in the mechanical, dry sense of the word. It was always about something so much bigger. How to change your life, without needing to change the whole world in a day. We're often told, if you want success, think big. Take massive action. Make explosive progress. But James Clear gently reminds us. No, you just need to start with something so small, no one even notices. Then you repeat it. Again. And again. And again. Because a single habit won't change you today. But a string of small habits, done consistently, will transform you forever. Picture yourself standing in front of a compass. A 1-degree shift today might not seem like much, but in a year, 5 years, 10 years, it could take you somewhere completely different. Success or failure isn't about a dramatic moment. It's about the direction you repeat every single day. And here's something worth remembering. Success is a byproduct of your habits, not the goal. You don't need to chase success. You just need to build the right habits, in the right spirit, with the right system, and then, success becomes inevitable. Life doesn't reward those who start the fastest. It rewards those who don't quit. You don't have to be perfect today. You don't have to be strong every day. You just need to be consistent, gentle with yourself, and always come back, even when you slip off course. And if one day you feel tired, discouraged, or lost, remember this. A small habit you do today may be the very thing that saves your future tomorrow. So start. Write. Move. Take a breath. Be kind to yourself. And trust this, you are worthy of a better version of yourself, and you're building it, step by step, one quiet habit at a time. Dear friend, we've just walked through Atomic Habits together, not just a book, but a slow, quiet journey of rebirth. A journey where you don't need to be extraordinary to begin. You just need to begin in order to become extraordinary. This book doesn't promise to make you a millionaire overnight. It doesn't shout with flashy theories or grand formulas. Instead, it gently whispers one powerful truth in your ear. Start. Be patient. Believe that the small things, done repeatedly, will become something great. And if you happen to be in one of the lowest seasons of your life, tired, falling behind, lost, or doubting your worth, please remember this. You don't need to be perfect today. You just need to keep coming back. One small step is still a step forward. One small change still shifts the direction of your future. One small habit could be the lifeline that saves your tomorrow. You don't have to be anyone else. You just need to be a slightly better version of yourself each day. And that is more than enough. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. Out of all the voices, you chose to stay, to feel, to reflect, and to grow. That choice alone is something to be proud of. If this content touched something inside you, please subscribe to the channel, so we can meet again, in more healing books, in stories that awaken belief, and in journeys where we rediscover who we are. And finally, thank you, for not giving up on yourself.